All right, Crownshot. That was some great. We had some great LEC matches this last week. But I need us to now descend into the sewers of North America. We're popping the manhole cover, going down the ladder, and getting covered in shit. Okay, so.
By the way, logically, Crownshot, if you get sick of all this shit with the off-season in Europe, just become a mid laner and go to NA, mate. You probably get paid about fucking $1 million a year. Like, at this point in time, I think you can probably do it as well. Half them can't play the majors either. Don't worry about it. Like, they can't play Orianna either. So, spoiler, you'd probably just be good. You could just play Tristana off the game. You'll be the best.
That's actually true. But also, here's the counter argument, Thorin, is that you look at Deftly's performance, and if you're Crownshot, you're like, holy moly, I could do way better than that if I was in NA. Because
you know when people kept doing that shit joke where cause Deft, right? Obviously, like he was playing with like fucking Matt from Team Liquid, so they were like, look, it's Deft and Matter. It's like, first of all, that's not actually a very good joke, and secondly, they did really mean it. Like they actually did mean, because there was a lot of hype when Deftly first came along that he was going to be like some super talent or whatever. So here's the real joke, Monty. His name's written Deft. LY. Well, in the end, the only truncation was what they fucking thought about what would happen in his career. Just took it from here to here with no fucking steps along the way. If you look up what truncation is, you daft cunts, and also short links. Anyway, that's the end of that segment. So, because by the way, I've told people this before. That's actually what made me depressed about that Evil Geniuses lineup. I look at the lineup and I'm like, dude, if Doublelift had joined this team's fire. Like, this is fucking sick. This league could win us, And then you see Deftly there, it's like, it's just not going to happen, is it? Like, there's an obvious fucking weak spot in my lineup here.
Well, the problem that EG has had in terms of making a roster is that they haven't been able, like, it's the whole like Bang versus Jizuke shenanigans from last year all over again, right? Is that they can't have a well-rounded roster with the way that they have constructed it. And I'm sure Evil Geniuses was out there in the market because they love to spend money looking for Jizuke replacements. But the fact that you ended up with Jizuke again, it just means that you're constantly going to be limited by a certain play style. And bad luck for EG. Here comes a control mage meta again this year, and you can't play his strongest champs. And even if, they were banning Echo for a lot of the series as well. So it's like, well, we can't even just like pocket pick and try and force it based on our style. So, but even then, they had huge leads in some of these games.
Dude, the fact that they're banning Echo alone is a massive upset.
Yes, exactly.
They're wasting motherfucking bans on Echo. Dude, how are we losing these series? These are wins. We take these.
Well, it's just infuriating too, because it feels like, where's the carry on this team?
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's like, well, we got Impact, the ultimate weak side top laner, old Mr. Consistent up there, but then we have Deftly. It feels like EG kind of like got so close to building that good roster, like you said, in the off season, and then just suddenly ended up with Deftly and Jizuke. And frankly, like, I don't know how much longer this fucking Deftly experiment can go on. Like, at what point do you just throw in the towel? It's the reverse problem of EU, where it's like, they're willing to throw in the towel on Crownshot and take like a bunch of ADC rookies into the league.
Dude, they still have the goal to say that shit on broadcast. Like, he's an up and coming player for what, for 4 years? How long's it taking him to come up, motherfucker? In 4 years, Faker had won like worlds like twice or something. You're a mentalist. What is this shit? What are you talking about? He's not up and coming. How slow has this come up? What is he just fucking? Has he just gone over the event horizon of a black hole? I'm just never gonna the rest of our life. Just him gradually coming up, is it?
Well, it's just infuriating too, because in the same time period, you have Tactical, you have Lost, you have players that I think at least have a higher upside.
Dude, Tactical made it in one split. I think FBI took like what, a year. Like, mate, these people exactly. It's ridiculous the time scan, isn't it?
Definitely is the most known quantity in North America at this point. I hate to tell you, he's not suddenly going to get good. And people who make arguments of like, oh, look at Smeb. Smeb was the worst top laner and then he became good. You know why we talk about Smeb? Because it was so unlikely that would happen. There's never been another player like that in League of Legends history who went from Vlog Panda to like, Khan. Like, there was a huge increase in talent that is basically unpredictable, right? And you would never, ever, 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 ever bank on that happening, because it's 1 in a million. It's 1 in a million. That's why we talk about it, because it was so weird, right? So I don't know. I'm not going to defend Tactical either, because his Tristana series was actually tragic against TSM, and maybe it's these rookies that are in these playoff situations, but definitely not a rookie, not anywhere close to a rookie. So I think for EG, you're just sitting there being like, how do I fix this team? Like,
by the way, there's a topic we didn't actually ask Crownshot about that we could tie into there. There's another thing that people are not doing, right? We're also treating all rookies like they're the same. I'll tell you the two positions I don't want a motherfucking rookie in my team would be jungle and AD carry. So the last thing I want is a guy who's never played a fucking playoff series and he's my jungler in a best of 5 against a real team. That's a nightmare simulator right there. That guy could break down completely and fuck the entire game. Not even necessarily totally his fault. And then AD carry, because you have to be so responsible if you want to play that role. That's not the guy. Like, that's why I can't handle. Dude, I told you this. The reason why I can't predict Team Liquid to win LCS is after seeing those Tristana ints from Tactical. It's like, homie, you're my fucking AD carrier. If you're going to int like that, apropos of nothing and with like almost no upside, why would I bet on you to fucking win this game? Because again, there's another team where like he has to be a carry, doesn't he? Like he has to be one of the best players in the team in theory.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like a big. Like a supporting point for your argument is also the T1 situation where they have an extremely talented AD carry in Gumayusi, but they're just playing Teddy because in the end he's more reliable. Like
for sure, one of the most safest players ever. Yeah.
I mean, he will never he will always deliver, right? While Gumayusi might be a bit more explosive and stuff, but he also messed up sometimes. But in the end, like that's how the role is made, right? Like you have to be kind of a perfectionist or very like reliable, and in the end experience I guess teaches you that, right? Like I think Sven will not do a play like that because he has experiences from his career where he messed up, right? Like I mean every player does, right? So the longer the player has played, the more he knows how it feels to play best of how bad it feels to lose, right? Best of 5. So it's less likely they'll go for the high risk play, right? Because
here's the thing about like Gumayusi and like very mechanically talented rookies, right? Is that the line of thinking you're on, Crownshot, is like, yes, Gumayusi is an absolute nut in team fights, like unreal talent on that guy. But the problem is that when you're in a playoff match versus a good team of veterans in League of Legends, they will never give you the opportunity to mechanically outplay them, because if that mechanical outplay is possible, they will not introduce themselves into a potential losing situation. That is how it works when you're smart at the game. And if they do, that's on them, not on Gumayusi. So like, as a result, you have to have players, like the best players. It's the Sun Tzu shit, man. You're not going to put yourself into a war that you have the possibility of losing, right?
And by the way, ADC in a team fight is the most fucking obviously focused and targeted player in the whole game. Like everyone's fully aware going into the fight. What can he do? What range can he attack us at? Who can peel for him? Like that's how I thought. It's not like mid lane where you could just do some crazy fucking move with a burst mage and just get a kill. Like I think it's one of the hardest roles in the whole game to play is like AD carry late game. If you're actually like in playoff settings, you have to be just flawless. You can't make a mistake.
That's why I mean I personally also like prefer Teddy, right? And that's why I always when people were ranking ADCs in NA and they like put Sven lower than like when people put FBI put himself first. I'm sorry, like, I don't want to flame, but like and people put him higher than Sven, and like I mean come on, like do you know what league is about or what? Like in the end, in a best of 5, who would you rather have playing ADC for you, Sven or FBI, right? Like, come on.
To be fair, FBI still can't be trusted to police themselves. on brand move. There we go.
But yeah, like that's why like ruler players like this, like there's just a certain class about them, right?
Yes.
Maybe they've been playing for so long.
Why do you think Deft is one of the greatest League of Legends players of all time? He is one of the safest, historically, most conservative AD carries that has ever existed. And yet he has reached all of these milestones in LPL and LCK, 1,000 kills in both, right? He's like second to Faker in terms of number of games in LCK. He's still here. He's still amazing. Everyone, like when I talk to players who have played against Deft, they always say how fucking good this guy is, like unbelievable in scrims, unbelievable on stage. And you can't kill him. You can't kill him. And he may not have the flashiest style of play. Like for the big moments, like would I rather watch Deft or Gumayusi right now? I'd rather watch Gumayusi because it's so insane. But it's like 99% of the game is not one team fight. It's all of the things that set up that team fight. And if you're just able to go berserk on people, probably the other team has also made a mistake somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I mean, like recently he has been faltering every once in a while, but I still see when I hear people talk, I think Mickey said that Deft was the best player he played against at Worlds when they were playing against them in Carrier, and this guy has been stomping lanes since 2015 in LPL. He has 40 wins and 3 losses on Jinx, right? And he has played in with how many different supports? Maybe 6. In maybe like 15, 20 different teammates, and the class is still there. It's the same with Ruler, right? He won Worlds 4 years ago, and he's still among the best. And it's the same in EU, not in EU, in the West. It's like the ones you can equate, kind of, is Ven and Reckless, right? That's why I have huge respect for these players, because they've been like through every meta, and if I would have to like bet on them in a best of 5 against any other player, even if that player has been insane in regular season or something, I would always choose them. It's just because I guess experience is the best teacher, right? Like when you've seen like Reckless, like the Twitch flash on mid lane against Clutch Gaming, I think when he lost the game, right? Because of that, he will never do the mistake again, right? Never again. While some other players have not gone through that, so they'll be more prone to that. Yeah. For sure.
Exactly. So let's cherish that flash. I do personally. I go back to it. It's a wellspring of joy. Sustains me when I need when times are dark. So, and then there's all those times he cried as well. I've also got those ones in my back pocket. You don't need to do it again. No need for a repeat act. You've seen it already. You don't have to make it like Star Wars and just keep doing it every few years, mate. Just because it's a popular act.
I'm actually surprised nobody's made like an epic like Reckless crying montage with like My Heart Will Go On and like fading to black and white. I feel like there's a lot of creativity you could have there.
Oh, there'd be so many clips from movies like I Just Can't Quit You, Man. It's just like fucking Boys Don't Cry. Just all the clips that you can think of from movies. So many classics. Yeah.
I feel like there's somebody could get a few 100,000 hits out of that if you're a video editor, but so I don't know. Like I think if we look at these NA playoffs, though, for me, the TSM versus TL series was a highly flawed series that TSM had many opportunities to win. TL also threw it many times by over pursuing. It was sloppy. We come to EG TSM. Now there's Baron steals that are happening that are winning TSM games. Deftly just like completely throwing with like 8 kills on a Kai'Sa. EG, this was a winnable series for EG. It was winnable. And yes, TSM was able to catch the throws in both series. Now, TL, they ended up losing, but they did catch some of the throws and like pick up games, right? But I think I'm not convinced that TSM is going to be able to realistically challenge TL or Cloud9, because it feels like they are, while they're fine, they're also getting huge breaks off of their opponent's mistakes.
That's what I loved about this series, though, because I didn't go into it thinking EG was really going to win. Like I told you, unfortunately, I think it was a very flawed team from the moment they built it.
Sure. They were not the favorites, right?
But I was loving it because I knew when TSM wins, it will give those fans that hope that they need. Because you have to understand, Monty, I don't want to defeat them and have them go, yeah, all right, TSM sucks. I want them to the very bitter end to believe, just like from that split was perfect. Because now they're all going to believe they can do the lower bracket run. They can always come back from 0-2 down. And obviously, the key thing is, I don't want, to actually like have to like fucking go back. I just want to be the one there. Basically, all I want to do to everyone in TSM who's a fan, a pro player, an owner, management, I just want to be Scar, just going, long live the king, and then just throwing your fucking arm. No! That's all I want. Every year, just give me that. It's normally Worlds, but I'm willing to take it in LCS earlier. Okay.
Yeah, see, Thorin has, when he watches Hamlet, he's just like, he's all about Claudius, actually.
I turn it off before the last third, Monty. You get to real down in the fucking whole thing. I prefer the way it was going before that. Yeah, exactly.
What's funny to me too is like we're seeing the same pattern, even though it's entirely different players with TSM, right? Which is that TSM, all the fanboys were like, wow, Bjergsen and Zilean, holy shit, so good. And I'm just sitting here being like, yep, just get to Worlds, see how it works for you, see how that undefeated Zilean goes for you, right? And lo and behold, they try it at Worlds against good teams, they get slapped around in lane and they lose. This time I'm just like, okay, TSM, why don't you go to an international tournament and give Ruler 8 kills and then see what happens to you? Because I promise that you know, the Ruler's not going to throw that game, right? And so you see these flaws, but NA is just so horrible that there's no follow through, there's no snowball, there's no taking that lead to the completion.
I mean, there was also the first game, I think it was first or second, where they were like 2-8 in kills, and then Deftly like got caught on mid lane when he failed the Tristana jump, and then they won that game, but it was 2-8, and I think enemy had 2 dragons, so they would never win that game against like very good, like against Team Liquid or C9, right? Like,
I mean, much less international competition, right? Give those kills to Viper. And
yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, of course. Yeah.